Good morning. We're looking at Math Lesson 6.4, Related Subtraction and Division. Your I can statement this morning says, I can show how subtraction and division are related. I can use repeated subtraction or a number line to solve a division problem. Just like we can use repeated addition, we can use repeated subtraction. Now spark your learning. Kai makes these dog treats. He wants to give his dog 3 treats a day. How many days will the dog treats last? Use words and a drawing to solve the problem. So if we're going to use a drawing, what are we going to do first? What would we do first? We know how many we have. Okay, we could draw little dots or X's to represent what? Our dog treats, right? Okay, let's do that. If you're at home, stop your video and do that. Okay, so it wanted to know if they gave their dog 3 treats a day, how many days? So we're going to circle 3 treats. We're going to circle 3 treats and we're going to put day 1. Now, if you didn't draw your drawing big enough, you can just put D-1. Okay? Then you need to circle 3 more trees. If you drew your drawing big, you could write it in the circle. That is day 2. Or above it. Then you would circle day 3. Day 4.
I need to erase this.
Day 5. We don't have time. Day 6. And day 7. Okay, if you're working at home and you don't have that done, please finish that up. Okay, so we can see from our drawing that he has enough treats for 7 days. Now it says it wants it in a picture and in words. So we're going to come down here and write it in words. There are 21 dog treats, true?
Yes.
How many did he give each day? Kai gives 3 each day. The dog treats will last how long?
7 days.
7 days. Okay, if you're at home, please get that down. So there are 21 dog treats. Kai gives 3 each day. The dog treats will last 7 days. Now the turn and talk down at the bottom says turn and talk. If you take groups of 3 dog treats from 21 dog treats, what operation are you using? So if you had 21 dog treats and you went and picked 3 of them up and gave them to your dog this morning, what did you use? What operation? Subtraction. Okay? All right, you should turn your paper over. Just build your understanding. Nala uses cloth to make coats for dogs. She has a bolt of cloth that is 18 feet long. Have you seen bolts of cloth?
Nope.
They're wrapped around a cardboard tube. Sometimes you see them in Walmart by the crafts. Each piece of cloth she cuts is 2 feet long. How many pieces of cloth does Nala cut? After Nala cuts 1 piece from a bolt, how much cloth is left? Predict how many pieces of cloth Nala can cut. Well, she has 18 feet and she's going to cut off 2-foot pieces. Think about that for a minute and raise your hand when you have a prediction. Let's answer this first question. If she cuts off 1 piece from 18 and she takes 2 feet, how much will she have left? What would our expression look like? She will have 16, so we had 18 minus 2 equals 16. That's the first question that we answered. Okay? Now the second question is, how many pieces do you think she can cut? Hudson, how many?
9.
Okay. I think Nala can cut 9 pieces of cloth. Okay, if you're at home, turn that off and get that down. Okay, in letter B, it says, how can you use a number line to show how many pieces of cloth Nola cuts? What can we do? Lexi.
So you can literally go to 2 until you get to 18.
We can jump by 2s, can't we? Let's write that in words. I can start at 18. We're going to work backwards, remember, because we're subtracting. I can start at 18, period. I can jump back 2 for each for each 2 feet of cloth that is cut. Whoops. Each jump is 1 piece. Okay, if you're at home, go ahead and turn your video off and get that written, or pause your video and get that written. So, where did we talk about we are going to start at? Where are we going to start at if we're subtracting? We have to start with what we have, and how many things are we going to do each jump? 2. So you should end up at 16. Then what?
14.
Then what?
12.
Then what?
7.
Then what?
8.
Then
6. 4. 2.
now, how do you know how many jumps to make? What did we do?
Subtract.
We did. I can count back by 2s until I end up at 0. I'm sorry. Shh. I can count back by 2s back by 2s. Oh, let's do this. Until I end at 0. Okay, if you're home, stop and get that. All right, who can remember what our prediction was at the top of the page? 9. So let's count our jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So how many pieces of cloth does Nala cut? 9. 9 pieces. How is counting backward on a number line like subtracting equal groups? How is counting backward like subtracting equal groups? We do. We just, counting back by 2s on the number line is like separating groups of 2 from a whole. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and go to our next page, page 153. How can you use subtraction to find how many pieces of cloth Nala cuts for the dog coats? Is this the same one we just did? No. Subtract equal lengths to represent each jump on the number line. So now we're going to write it. We're going to write what we did on our number line. Okay? So we're going to say 18 minus what? How many did we go back? 2 equals what? 18 minus 2 equals 9? 16. Then we're going to say 16 minus 2 equals what? What are we going to start this one with? 14 minus 2 equals, okay, and then what? Okay, what will be after that? 10 minus 2 equals 8.
8 minus 2 would equal 6. 6 minus 2 would equal 4. 4 minus 2 would equal 2.
Okay. Okay. And then our last box here, hopefully if Mrs. Stegman can get a box up, is going to say 2 minus 2 equals 0. So if you're at home and you don't have all those, please stop your video and get those down. Okay, so we had a good observation here in the classroom. We can count these and see if there are 9 of them. And I know I have 4 in this group, 4 in this group was 8, and 1 over here. So how many times did we subtract then? 9 times. Okay, now we're going to move on and we're going to talk some vocabulary about division. Okay? Okay, so use a division equation to model the problem. So we had our 18 feet of cloth and we divided it by 2. Notice this blue word under here says dividend. If you go over to your connect to vocabulary, it says the dividend is the number that is to be divided in a division problem. So the number you're going to divide is the dividend. And then this number after the division sign is the divisor. What is this number doing? It is the number that divides the dividend. So it's the number you're going to use to break it apart. And then the quotient is the number that results. So what was our result of dividing 18 by 2? 9. Okay, so the quotient for this one is 9. Now, right here, it shows us another way to show division. Instead of our dots with our line and our dot, we draw this little, kind of house thing, right? And we put the 18, the dividend, under the little house. Well, it's a divide sign. And we put the 2 outside. So the number that's being broken apart or divided goes under. The number that we're breaking it into parts of goes out here. And then your quotient goes here on top. Okay, on the roof. Okay, so we would put our 9 right there over the 8 because we couldn't break 1 into 2 pieces, could we? No, but we can break 18 into 9 pieces. Okay? Okay, so we're going to check for understanding. Nala has another bolt of cloth that is 10 feet long. How many 2 feet pieces of cloth can Nala make? Complete the jumps. So you're going to go over on your number line and complete your jumps. And the repeated subtraction down here. And then you're going to write a division equation. So you're going to write it with the sign, with the dot line, dot. Okay, does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, this is your check your understanding.